Big up, people. Let's talk ball is back. 12th man's back. We've got Hooks in the building. We've got Jamie back in the house. Jacob may be joining us or maybe not. With the times over there, I'm not sure if he has or hasn't received the link yet. So hopefully he may jump on. So we'll see. If not, it's just us three. Big up to every single one of you that's joined from Lee's channel. If you haven't watched that already, me and Lee Judges chatting all things Arsenal for this weekend. This time we're going to be talking a little bit about this title race that, let's be real, it seems weird talking about in November, but we are going to mention it because everybody seems to. We're going to talk about Liverpool and their trip to Saints. We're going to talk about Man City and Spurs at the Etihad, and we're going to talk about Arsenal, who host Forest at the weekend. International football is now done until March. I'm quite happy about that. However, I will say this. I actually quite enjoyed this international break because I needed it. It was stressful for me.
The games this week weren't too bad, you know.
I agree.
There's some decent games.
I agree. Yes, I've had my hair cut. Big up to you, Ray. I have gone and got myself a fresh trim today and chilled out. And now talk football and then out tonight with some friends. So I'm looking forward to today and the weekend, if I'm honest. Although the weekend is going to be wet and miserable in London, so I am not really looking forward to sitting there all wrapped up. I know. It's so cold at the moment, man. It's so cold, man. Literally, I'm one of these people who refuses to put the heating on until it gets to Halloween time. And this is the only time I've ever got to the end of October thinking, nah, I've just got to put this on now. I've just got to put it on. Screw Halloween. Now, you need it on all the time. It's absolutely frozen. So anyway, big up to you. Hooks, big up to you. Jamie, big up to you. Let's talk ball. Let's start with Arsenal because we've got to bounce back. We're in a position now where 9 points could end up being between 12, 15, 18 pretty quickly the way we're playing and the way Liverpool are playing. What are you saying this weekend, Hooks? Ben White's out. There's a lot of talk that Partey might be right back and that Calafiori might be back, might not be back. Zinchenko might play at left back. There's a few options Arsenal have got now with the injuries that have kind of dried up a little bit as far as Arsenal are concerned, thank God. Where do you see this game being won and what team would you go with for Arsenal? Because a lot of people are saying that they've, if I'm honest with you, I've spoken to about 3 or 4 Gooners, they'd all gone something different at the moment. So what are you telling me, bruv?
So apparently I'm reactionary and I'm lacking belief and I'm depressed because I don't know if we win this game. I'm looking at this game and something inside of me is just screaming out, this is going to be a draw. You know, no matter as much as we need to win this game, and I do believe that we kind of need to make a statement now. It can't be, we're building up to something great anymore. It can't be we're trying to work our way into good form. It can't be, we did this well in the game, but we just, couldn't get it over that. We don't really have room for that anymore. In my personal opinion, the next 10 Premier League games, they all have to be wins. Now, will we get wins in all of them? I'm not so sure because, as you know, we don't, our problem isn't necessarily the big teams. That's not our problem. We're fine when it comes to the big teams. It's those banana skins along the way where we look at them and go, yeah, we're winning this game 100%. And then you're sitting there and it's like, okay, it's 0-0 in the first half. Oh, damn, 50 minutes. We're losing 1-0. Oh, damn, we haven't created a proper chance in 30 minutes in the second half. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got one back. Okay, it's 1-1. But it's we've dropped 2 points. So, yeah, we really can't afford to drop any more points. So I guess I'm really worried about Nottingham Forest front line. I'm really Chris Wood, Hudson-Odoi, Alanga is dangerous. Morgan Gibbs-White is back as well, which is going to cause us a bit of problems. I've been really impressed with their defenders this season. Aina's been great. Murilo's been amazing. Milenkovic, amazing. Even their goalkeeper Sells, who I have him down as so far being goalkeeper of the season. So we're going up against a really, really, really strong. It's not Nottingham Forest of last season where they're battling for survival. they're pretty much in and around the top 4. So we have to give them credit. We have to show them respect. But I just wonder, like, will we show them too much respect? And that's probably what leads me to believe that the game will most likely be a draw. In terms of what I think we should go in terms of lineup, if Calafiori can't start, I don't care. Start Tierney over Zinchenko. Like, I just don't want to see Zinchenko at left back facing these pacey wingers. Put Tierney there. You know, Tierney hasn't played football in a very long time, but as far as I'm concerned, defensively, he's arguably our best, if not top 3 defenders. I'll give him that. You know, going forward, maybe he doesn't go forward the way that Arteta wants him to, but we all know that he can contribute going forward. You know, he bombs down that left-hand side. He gets a lot of good crosses into the box. As I saw something funny on your last stream with Lee Judges, where it's like, yeah, he's going to be crossing the ball in the box, but Havertz is going to be dueling the center circle. I was like, oh yeah, that probably will be the case. I would have Timber right back. You know what? Or maybe I would lean to Timber left back and Partey right back. I do feel like when Partey's gone right back, he's played well for us there. We all know the kind of shortcomings when he goes there is that we don't really have an overlapping option on the right-hand side. But with Ødegaard being back, maybe Ødegaard could be the one that overlaps on that right-hand side to allow Saka to come inside. Who knows? I would actually go, providing Partey goes right back, I would just put Declan Rice in the 6, then obviously Marino, Ødegaard in the 2 8s. Havertz up top. You know what I mean? At this moment in time, we don't really have another option. Unless there was a world where Arteta wanted to be a bit creative, which I doubt he will, and maybe put Martinelli in the central position and see how he does there. Obviously, Saka on the right, pretty standard. Martinelli on the left, pretty standard. Use Trossard as that super sub option. And then I think everywhere else picks itself. You go Raya in goal, you go Saliba, Gabriel, centre-backs. Is there any other position? No, I think I've covered all the positions. If we was to win the game, I would say we're heavily leaning on how good a game, I guess, or how impactful a game Saka will have. Will he turn up or will he be locked out the game? I have a feeling that Ødegaard's going to come back and be like, okay, I now need to carry this team on my back, because it is his team, right? He's the captain, so he needs to take up that leadership role, lead by example, do something on the pitch that just wows everybody and give us the momentum. But outside of that, I'm not too sure where we win the game. Maybe Havertz gets a cheeky header. Maybe Gabriel gets a cheeky header from a corner. Who knows? But Nottingham Forest are defensively sound. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they've conceded the least goals, barring Liverpool. Mm-hmm. I think it is Liverpool than them. So defensively, they're really sound. So it's going to be a really hard game. Yeah, we really do need that W, man. We really need the 3 points.
We really need the W, man. And unfortunately, I'm with you, Hooks. I think this will be a draw. I think we're going to drop again. And I don't think we're playing well enough. I know Ødegaard's back, but I think people that just expect Ødegaard to be slotted in and Arsenal start balling out are just very naive. There's a lot more wrong than just Ødegaard not being in this team. In transition, we're poor. Our midfield has not been good. Defensively, we haven't been as resolute as what most people were expecting to see this season. And I'll come to you on this, Jay, because you've played them already at home and you lost at Anfield. And a lot of people that day said, oh, Liverpool crap. But no one really give Nottingham Forest the credit they deserve, because they were bloody good. I thought they were excellent, if I'm honest with you. And, you know, you've got to be good to beat this Liverpool side. And they did. And they kept a clean sheet against you as well. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on Forest as they go into this game, because I think it's going to be a tough one, bruv.
Yeah, it is. Look, Forest are, you know, after beating Liverpool, they've actually gone on to prove they're actually quite a decent side this year. And what they remind me of is Nuno's Wolves. That is what they're reminding me of right now. Very strict at the back, you know, limit chances to the opposition, awful to play against, and then have quick counters with very quick techie wingers. And that's what he's got at Forest right now. Some of the players Forest have got, though, I think are a level above the club they're at. They've got very good. The centre half Murillo is just an absolute beast,
and his partner, Milenkovic as
yeah,
well.
Yeah, they're quality combination. Murillo, I can see him going to a top 4 club next season. I really can. I think one of the big boys might come in for him. Tremendous little player. The left back, is it the left back at the moment? I can't remember his name, but he's playing really well. And then they got like 4 wingers. They've got 4 wingers that they can bring on that are all quick, techie, can get a goal, can cause trouble. Yeah, I think. Look, I actually think after the international break, it would have been better for Arsenal go away to Nottingham Forest than the other way around. Because Forest going away, they're going to do what they did against Liverpool. Arsenal will have most of the ball, and Nottingham Forest will try and suffocate them, contain them, annoy them, and then look for quick counters. And I think the Ben White missing is a big issue if I was an Arsenal fan, because I think people underestimate the good link up between Ben White and Saka on that right hand side. They have very good link up together, and I think that is going to be missing from that part. I think Partey, he can play at right back. He did it against Liverpool and was very good against Diaz. But does that mean he can do it again? Was that just the odd game? Again, he'll be coming up against tricky wingers. But I think Ben White's going to be a big miss for you. I know Odegaard is a special talent. Yes, he got the assist on his game back for Arsenal, but he did go missing for a lot of the match as well. He was in and out of that game a lot, and I'm surprised he played. Didn't he play the whole 96 minutes as well?
Yeah,
on his first game back, which is kind of mad if you ask me. I don't know if you've got any more injury worries, but I do think they're missing a Ben White, and I don't know if Declan Rice will be fixed up. He broke his toe, didn't he? I don't know if he played through the pain or something, but
so we're hearing good news there's quite good news on most of our players at the moment. They're all joining in, even Tierney, who people have forgotten about, is back now. I think there's only Trossard who's the major doubt because he got injured at Belgium, but they're talking about him having a late test as well. Saka back, Rice back, they're talking about it. So we haven't got any excuses anymore, Jay. Like there's a lot of people that said about Arsenal's injuries and the red cards and referee decisions were harsh. I ain't hearing that, man.
You can't.
We've got enough quality to be beating these teams.
You have, man. You have got enough quality. And look, the thing is, the next few fixtures you got, I think any other time you win them quite comfortably. But the 9-point gap just puts pressure on players like you wouldn't believe. And we've all been there before, with these point gaps. I've been there as a Liverpool fan. We've all been there, and it's a pressure. Every game's now a pressure game because, Liverpool are away to Southampton, which I think is still a difficult game, but I still see us winning that game. It's just pressure every time Arsenal play right now. And Forest at home, it might not be the cut and dry game that some Arsenal fans think it might be. Like, it's not in Forest. We'll show our stuff when we beat them. They are going to frustrate the hell out of Arsenal. And to beat Nottingham Forest, I think you've got to score in the first 30 minutes. And then Nottingham Forest will have to start coming out in the second half as well, which will leave a little bit more openings for the home team. So, if Arsenal score in the first 30 minutes of that game, I think you go on to win comfortably. But if you don't, I think it could be where Nottingham Forest just do what Nottingham Forest has done all season, to be honest.
They are looking very good. And Arsenal are not. Now, I understand it's a different Arsenal. I think the midfield's going to be key. We've got Rice, Partey and Odegaard, unless he plays Partey at right back. I would actually, if it was me, play Rice, Waneri and Odegaard. That's what I would do. But I think Marino will get the nod because Marino is the guy that Arteta wanted and he brought him in for 30-odd million from Sociedad. He wants him to play in this 8. He wants him to be this kind of Granit Xhaka replacement. I actually thought he was a lot better against Chelsea when he came on than he has been in most of the games that he's played so far. And I think he is finding his feet finally. We've got to remember, 1, it's a new league, and 2, he's come back from a fractured shoulder. So he weren't going to pull up trees at any time soon. He's going to need some time. So I'm willing to give him that. I think having Calafiori and Tomiyasu and Tierney all back is definitely a good thing. Zinchenko's back as well. It means now we've literally only really got a couple of sort of doubts in terms of players, one being White because he's going to be out for a while for the surgery, but everyone else is pretty much back now or coming back. So I think Arsenal have no longer got those excuses, but I actually think this game could be so key in the wide areas for both sides because Martinelli and Saka, we know what they can do on a good day, but we're also looking at Elanga, we're looking at Morgan Gibbs-White, we're looking at Hudson-Odoi. And I just feel, and I'll come to you on this, Hooks, they might have a bigger threat in Chris Wood than we've got in Kai Havertz at the moment. And that is a mad thing to say, because as much as I don't actually hate on Havertz, and I do think we've got a player there that's decent, that can score goals, Chris Wood's the one on better form. And actually, they're using Chris Wood as a 9. And at the moment, Arsenal don't seem to be. You know, you made the comment there about what Turkish was saying earlier in the chat about him dropping deeper and being asked to play in more of a false 9 role. I don't want to see that from Havertz. I want to see Havertz in the box, causing havoc, causing nuisance, chaos as the number 9. And I think Arteta needs to do that. Otherwise, we might not be able to get the goals that we're hoping at the weekend, bruv.
I think that, look, I have to show respect to Chris Wood. Like, what he's been able to do this season is admirable. Like, especially doing it for Nottingham Forest. Obviously, no disrespect, because those that know me know that I view Nottingham Forest as our blood brothers. You know, brothers in red. You know, we wear red because of them. So, you know, we got some ties going way back. But I just think that maybe not Wood the name, but Wood the profile is what Arsenal need in the number 9. Like, someone who finishes their dinner, someone who is clinical, someone who causes problems to defenders in the box, someone who's a threat in the air, someone who's a threat on the ground. He's not the quickest. Maybe that's something that I would add to his game. He's not the quickest, but where he's not quick, he's very strong. It's very difficult to move him off the ball. And it'll be interesting to see how we deal with that, because he's also not afraid to just shoot the ball. Again, something that we need in Arsenal. We've got too many players that want to do the goal by a million passes. Like, so it's going to be a struggle. I don't know how we're going to deal with him defensively, because if you say to Saliba and Gabriel, okay, lock down Chris Wood, then that just creates space for the likes of Elanga, for the likes of Hudson-Odoi. And then now that's a problem. You know, maybe Gabriel gets drawn out to go to Chris Wood, and then Morgan Gibbs-White slips in behind. Like, Chris Wood is also really good at holding up the ball and bringing other players into the play as well. So it's gonna be a difficult day for Arsenal, a very difficult day. And I'm trying to think, like, who was the last, like, proper out and out traditional striker that we've had to deal with this season? I can't, off the top of my head, I don't really think. With Haaland maybe, but then aside from the I guess that moment of lapse, Isak, yeah, maybe, yeah. And even then, Isak caused us a massive problem. Isak was the one that scored the goal. So it just seems like Haaland scored when Arsenal come up against an actual striker, we don't really know how to deal with it. Like, we know how to keep the false 9s at bay, you know, the attacking mids at bay, the wingers at bay. But when it comes to those 9 times out of 10, you put them in front of goal, they score, we kind of struggle. And maybe the answer is just playing Rice in the 6, because Rice will do a lot of that cleaning up, a lot of that sweeping up. Like, he's probably the one that will sit on Wood, pause. It's a very wild statement to say. And lock him up throughout the game. Maybe that's just the way that we go. And I mean, like I touched upon earlier, I would love nothing more than to see Rice in the 6 with Wanyeri and Erdegaard playing the 8-8, because that's creativity at its finest. But
that's what I would do if Partey is right back. That is what I would do. I mean, Partey's been phenomenal in the middle. So we'll see what happens there. But
is Arteta going to do that, though? Sorry, is Arteta going to do that? Because
no.
I understand what you guys are saying, because when you look at Arsenal's season, there is a lack of creativity in that middle of the pitch, ain't there? It's very defensive-minded first, and putting Wanyeri and putting Rice in the 6, and Odegaard, you got two. What it gives Nottingham Forest is 2 problems with midfield for runners.
Yeah.
So you got Wanyeri, who's young and youthful, and he's going to want to break into the box, and you got Odegaard, who's going to do the same thing and be a bit more creative. So that gives the Forest midfield something to think about a bit more. Like, we can't step up here. We've got to We can't step up. These two are going to be too dangerous. Rice can hold that position. So it gives Forest something to think about as well. With their wide players. It also, Nuno might look at it and think, I can't make my wide players get too expansive because we're going to leave gaps in the middle because these two are going to make bursting runs into the box and Rice can hold it. So you might be right there, guys. But as I say, will Arteta think along them same lines?
Well, unfortunately, I don't think Mikel Arteta is looking to start Ranieri in any capacity other than in the Carabao Cup, which is a shame.
He looks a good player, man. He looks a good player.
He looks a baller, man. He looks a baller. And look, I understand that he doesn't want to put pressure on him, and I get that. He wants to look after him. But when you're good enough, you're old enough, and he's showing signs that he's better than what we have got in our squad at the moment. I'd rather be bringing on him than Jesus or Sterling. I would. So that's what we got to be looking at. I wanted to ask you though, Jay, right?
Go for it.
I wanted to ask you on Havertz because a lot of people are kind of a little bit mixed with him. I quite like Kai Havertz as a squad player. I think he's an option to bring on. I think he can contribute. I don't think I want him starting in every single one of our games, though. I think Arsenal need a number 9 that is absolutely brutal in front of goal, killer, finisher. A little bit like a Diogo Jota if he could stay fit. Somebody like that who's going to be an absolute goal. Now, I know they're not hard. They're hard to find. I know it's not easy. But there are players out there at the moment that I'm looking at stats-wise. And Havertz's stats aren't so bad, by the way. He's pretty much goal every other game, although that's dried up a bit of late. You've got the Isak is the obvious one. That might be hard in January. You've got Gyökeres, which is what everyone's talking about, which would be easier in January because it's around about 70 million euros, they reckon now, to get him out of Sporting Lisbon. Marmoush at Frankfurt is another option. Some people are talking about other names as well. Do you think Arsenal need a 9? Last season, we got 91 goals, more goals than ever before. I still feel we do. Some say that we don't, and it's midfield that's the issue. I agree with that as well. I think my midfield has been a problem. But surely Arsenal need a 9 in January, right?
Yeah, I think you do, because when you look at the left side of your pitch, Martinelli, he sort of had that one wonder season, didn't he? And are you going to rely on Martinelli like that every year? The answer is probably no. The problem with Saka, I think Saka's a tremendous player, but it's like Arteta's trying to kill him before he's 24. Yeah. you know what I mean? That's what it looks like from the outside. And with Havertz, I think Havertz is a good player now. I think Havertz is one of them. He's sort of a clutch player. He comes clutch at moments, don't he? But I don't know what he is. Look. You're using him at the moment as a hold-up striker. Like, you're putting the ball out long to him, and he's bringing the ball down because he's very good at that, holding the ball up, bringing others into play. So he's playing like a target man at the moment. That's what Havertz is playing at. I think there's a striker no one talks about, and that's João Pedro from Brighton. I think he's a tremendous little player, and he's a very good finisher. His link-up play is excellent as well. He's got a lot about. I actually think I know everyone's talking about Belieber at the moment and Minotoma and all that. I actually think João Pedro is a star at Brighton. That could be the next big one off the ranks over there. And if you've got someone like him in your team, I think you could put him in your team, and then what you got then is you got Havertz and Odegaard for that 10 position. And straight away you've bolstered that 10 area where Odegaard ain't got to play every week. Straight away, and that's boosted that attacking part of your midfield up, and then you could play João Pedro in that 9 area. He's a tremendous little player. My problem with Gyökeres, can't say I'm going to say I've got a problem with Gyökeres when he's scoring so many goals, but I think you get what I mean. I don't think Gyökeres would suit the way Arsenal play. If you look at Gyökeres, he scores a lot of his goals in transition, and he plays against a lot of high lines. Same with Isak, by the way. And Marmoush at Frankfurt, a lot of his goals are all in transition against high lines. I don't know if that will convert to the way Arsenal plays. Arsenal like to play more dictated, slower possession game where they might miss the runs of a Gyökeres or an Isak or something like that. So you might have to change to fit him in. You might have to change your philosophy. Arteta might have to change his philosophy, how he wants to play to suit the main striker. So you'd have to change your whole way of playing again. But I know someone said João Pedro slow. I don't think strikers have to be super fast all the time. I think if they got, I'm not
even sure if he is that slow. Is he?
He's not slow. He just doesn't need to use his pace because he's got excellent movement. Sometimes if you've got extra movement, you've got pace in the wide areas, and your movement's good, you can get into good positions on the pitch to score goals. And let's face it, the way Arsenal play with their wide players and other guys behind, as long as he's picking up good positions, they get plenty of goals. He would in that team. That's someone I would be looking at.
But you know what? Yeah, just on the point about Gyökeres, and I know he scores a lot of his goals on transition. And don't get me wrong, I don't think we know how to transition. Like, we always just wait for people to get back, and then we just slowly build up. But I think having a Gyökeres would make teams not be able to play as much of a low block against us as they currently do, because Gyökeres is that guy where Havertz is just, he's pulled one of the centre backs away to create space for Gyökeres. Erdegaard finds Gyökeres just shoots the ball and scores. Yeah. That's what we don't have. We don't have someone that when they're on the edge of the box, they just shoot.
Yeah, just unload the gun. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So then, if teams now know that Arsenal have that killer striker that from outside the box they can score just as easily from inside the box, then it may make defensive lines go, okay, we got whenever this guy has the ball, we need to close him down. So now a defender stepping out of place, and when a defender steps out of place, Gyökeres link-up play is very, very, very underrated as well. He can link up as well. So that's a quick pass to Erdegaard, spinning off the defender in behind, and then it's just created more space for him. So I think we play as slow as we play because we don't really have too many players outside of Martinelli that can actually run in behind and expose, defenders' weaknesses, which is running towards goal. So if we just change that up, and I don't know, like I'm a pipe dreamer. Yeah, I'm hoping for not only do we sign Gyökeres in January, we sign Isak as well, and we sign
bro.
Yeah.
Man, I don't even know if we're going to get one of them, let alone both of them. Bro. You know what I'm saying? Big up to Tom in the chat from Guna Talk TV. Make sure you go follow Guna Talk TV if you haven't done so already. And massive happy birthday to you, my bro. 30 today. A big 3-0. I will see you at the weekend. And big up to you, Tom. Make sure that you have a great day, man, and relax. He said, which player can score as easily from outside the box as they do from inside the box? To be honest with you, yeah, Luis Suarez is a good shout. See if we can drag him out of retirement. You know what I like about Victor Gyökeres, though, right? Yeah, Henry's a good shout as well. You know what I like about Gyökeres is actually his ball carrying. I think his ball carrying is fantastic. If you look at his stats, he trebled Havertz's last year in terms of ball carrying. I think he is a top talent who can score all sorts of goals, and I think he's showing that. What it is I must say, whenever you kind of mention any striker somebody doesn't like, it's always got like but it's only the Portuguese league. Now they've realized he's doing it outside of that, like, but they only played Azerbaijan, and then it's but it was against the rubbish Champions League squad.
He's obviously a talent.
It's like, come on, man, let's just accept this guy is very good.
The talent.
He's a lot of goals. Do you know what I mean? Like, he might not suit some teams, that's for sure, but certainly think he can come in and do a job at Arsenal, that's for sure, man.
He'd get more goals than Havertz, let's put it that way.
He would 100%.
And that like I said this to you in the summer to some Arsenal fans of mine. I said, instead of buying Moreno and Calafiori, if you just bought one striker, your team would be even better.
I totally agree. And I'm not saying we don't need Moreno and Calafiori as well, but certainly in terms of order of priority, it seems weird. Look, I look at it now. It's a good question, actually, Jay, about that, because I was actually asked this the other day. I do think we need to sort our left-hand side out. So I understood in my head thinking Moreno sorts the left eight out, Calafiori sorts the left out, and then we go and get our replacement. Unfortunately, it was Raheem Sterling. That was the one we shouldn't have got.
So
we should have done better than that. Bizarre. Go on, Hooks.
I was going to say, do you know how we actually just sorted out the left-hand side? And people are going to call me a hater, and, I'm fine. People are going to call me a hater, but our left-hand side vastly improves if we just upgraded on Martinelli. The whole reason that we actually need to improve our left-hand side is because of Martinelli. Because Martinelli is a player that for some reason can only play well if he has the perfect left centre mid next to him.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Left back behind him. But if we just went, I don't know, like, if we just said, you know what? What's his name? Nico Williams. I know he's started this season off quite badly, but if we signed him when he was in his ascendancy from the Euros, if we just went, no, Nico Williams, you're our starting left winger. Nico Williams don't care who's playing next to him. Nico Williams doesn't need a Calafiori charging into the central areas to release some space. Like, Nico Williams is just a guy that's gonna attack you and beat the defender. Like, and that's the problem. Like, we didn't need. Do you know what? Yeah, Arsenal. Do you know what? The thing that I think will kill Arteta at Arsenal is he's constantly chasing to replace Xhaka. Just get a different type of player. That's all you have to. You don't need Xhaka 2.0. Get a new player who plays different to Xhaka and can offer something differently. But instead, you're chasing Xhaka, and just, I don't think Marino's better than Xhaka at what Xhaka does right now. Maybe one day he might, but right now I don't think he is. And then what if he can't adapt? Do we get rid of Marino and then try and find Xhaka 2.0 again? Like, do you know what I mean? Just find someone else. Like, bring
the thing is, if you find someone else, there's nothing wrong with keeping the players you've got as well. Like, for me, when people say to me, why do you want a 9? You got Havertz. Well, I'm happy with Havertz, but I don't think you need just Havertz. We're going to need somebody better than Havertz. Martinelli, I wouldn't be selling him, but unless the money was right, of course. But I would happily go and get Nico Williams or Kvaratskhelia. I mean, that's a bit of a dream. But somebody like that would be unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean Martinelli goes out the door. He might want to leave if that happens. That's cool. We can have that discussion. But I don't think it's about getting players gone and getting rid of them. The players we need to get gone are the players like Sterling, who clearly has not got a future here. Gabriel Jesus, whose time is up. Zinchenko, who I think's time is up. These are the core conversations. Have the party and Jorginho discussion in the summer. That's how you improve things right now. But we're talking about January and the summer like we're on top of it. We're only in November and we've got a hell of a long way to go. We've got to try and get what's best with this now. You know, there's a lot of people in the chat earlier that were talking about, you know, why the hell did you not get a replacement for Smith Rowe when you're not going to play 1 year? You needed to go and buy somebody else. Some people would say that Marino was a replacement for Smith Rowe. Well, that means where's the Vieira replacement? Where's Reece Nelson? Where's Eddie Nketiah? We're short somewhere along the maths ain't mathing, as they say, right? We got rid of 4, we bought in 1, basically. So yeah, or if you want to add Marino in there, we're still 2 short then, you know. So we are clearly short, basically, is what we're getting at. Let me ask you, Colasi, on Arsenal, Jay, because it's interesting for me as a Liverpool fan. You're obviously in this title race. I think you are anyway. A lot of people say it's early, but I still think Liverpool we're going to be up there anyway. And I think they've definitely. We're going to come to you guys next. From a Liverpool point of view, if I said to you, take your Liverpool hat off. Here's a load of money, Jay. You're now in charge of Arsenal transfers. What positions are you strengthening? You don't have to give me names, but what positions are you strengthening in that Arsenal squad?
The striker, the left winger, the right winger, and another attacking number 8. Because the thing with Saka, the reason I get a right winger, it looks like Arteta's on a mission to kill Saka before he's 24 or something. I don't know what it is. Like, the man plays through injuries. He always looks hurt, Saka. And as a very good player, as an English player, as an Englishman wanting to see him in national football as well, I like Saka. There's nothing there's nothing to dislike about Saka, in my opinion. I think he's a great kid, great footballer, and I just like to see him protected, if that makes sense, and get a backup for him. Martinelli, I think Martinelli was meant to be this wonder kid that's going to be a wonder kid when he's 30. Do you know what I mean? You're still waiting You're still waiting for him to kick on to the next level. But as you said, if you get a player that you can bring in and Martinelli's your backup, straight away that's just improved your left-hand side, ain't it? Like, to a massive extent. And then if you go and get that striker in and you got Havertz as your Havertz and Trossard as your backups, and then Havertz is that versatile player, can even play the 10. So you got more versatility there as well, and you got your number 1 striker. And then more of an attacking 8, maybe, because I think sometimes, although it's been going well, Rice and Partey can be a bit too defensive-minded sometimes, and maybe you need a runner from that position that can cause teams other trouble as well. And also, Rice almost plays every minute of the games as well, so you can give him a little break without the quality dropping. That's probably what I would look at.
Look, I love that you've highlighted those positions because they're positions I've cried out for a while, if I'm honest with you. Particularly the left 8, which I still don't think has really been replaced since we got rid of Granit Xhaka. He was a player I was calling out for a long, long time, saying, come on, do something. When he finally did do something, we sold him, which is mad, really, in 7 years. Certainly a striker is something I feel like I've been crying out for about 5 years. I think we definitely need width, whether that's a right and a left or just one that can play both, because Saka can't play every game and Martinelli needs some competition. I do have other question marks over Saliba's position because I feel like if he was to leave or get long-term injury, I'm not sure where we go in that position. I know we've got options. I understand that Ben White can shift and Tommy Yasu can shift and Timber can come in, but if I'm honest with you, they're all fullbacks trying to play centre-back, in my opinion. We actually need a centre-half. Like Liverpool, if Van Dijk and Kouyate go down, they've got Quansah and Gomez to come in. Whereas if Saliba and Gabriel come down, we've only got Kivior that's our other centre-back. All the others are fullbacks that can play centre-back. And I don't like that. I feel like there's a centre-half that needs to be bought. The problem we've got now, I'm going to mention some names, and they're teams you're going to think, the teams are going to sell them to Arsenal. There's players at Sporting Lisbon. There's players at Napoli. There's players that I like, of course, at Newcastle and all of these clubs that you think Arsenal should be getting them. The problem is we're going to need about 500 or 600 million for the players I want. Because I want Kvaratskhelia, who's going to be about 100 million. I want Isak, who's going to be about 100 million. I'd quite like to go and get Florian Wirtz, but he's not going to come for 25 million. You know, I quite like the look of Mark Guehi at Palace or Diamande at Sporting Lisbon, but they're going to cost sort of between 50 and 100 million as well each. So, you know, four or five positions that you're saying we need about 500 or 600 million if we want that. And we've already spent 700 on the whole of this 20-man squad. So I don't think we're going to be, I think we've got to be realistic and manage expectations for the players that we are going to get in, as opposed to the players that we want, is what I would say at Arsenal. And Arteta's got to sort this out. At the moment, we don't have a sporting director. That will be changed. We'll get somebody in to hopefully with some experience to help him. But right now, we've got to do what's best with this squad. So let's come to some predictions with this one. Jay, I'm going to start with you because I think me and Hooks are on the same level with this one. What are you saying for this weekend, Arsenal and Forest, brother? What are you going with?
I think you'll win 2-1. I think Havertz will get a 91st minute winner. Wow. Because he does come clutch. I will say this about Havertz. He does come clutch. So, yeah, I think it'll be 1-1 and then you'll get a massive chance, almost like your last game where you should have got that, you know, that second goal. I think Trossard got in the way of Havertz scoring or whatever it was, and you would have won that game. So, yeah, I think 1-1 comes to the 92nd minute and you get an injury time winner. Yeah.
Interesting. I've gone 2-2 and I've gone 2-2 for a while. I just feel most of this week and for what I've done watching Forest, I think they're going to cause us some serious problems. And I've gone 2-2. Hooks, what are you telling me?
I'm 2-2 as well. Literally, like
yeah.
It's for me. It's 1-1 or 2-2. I think 2-2 is more likely because I think there will be more goals in the game, but definitely a draw.
And is that us out then? Is that us then done at the title race? So that'll be 11 points.
If we win and you draw, I would say,
100%. I don't really want. I don't want to say it, but I feel like I kind of feel like we might be done now. Like honestly, do you know what the problem is? It has absolutely. It doesn't really have anything to do solely with just Liverpool. My thing that I've been pretty consistent with this is I can't see Liverpool dropping 9 points without Arsenal dropping more points. So it's not that we need Liverpool to drop 9 points. We probably need Liverpool to drop maybe 13 to 15 points.
Yeah, 15. Yeah, exactly.
Which is, I don't think that's going to happen. Like, I've been so impressed with Liverpool this season. Like, the way that Liverpool are playing, I can't even see them having that drop off in March because their players aren't going to be tired because they're not constantly running because they're not playing Mo Farah football anymore. Like, it's such controlled football.
Farah. I like that.
It's actually it's super controlled football. Like, literally, slow build up, you know, passing the ball around, keeping it, you know, maintaining a certain tempo. But then when you see the moment where, okay, we can take advantage, it's immediate. Like, I was horrified for Aston Villa. Like, there was times where I was every corner in that second half from Aston Villa. I was praying for the Villa fans because it looked dangerous every single time. And that's the thing. You're not playing chaos football 24/7.
No.
And you're gonna go. I personally think, I don't know how many players it will be, but I think if you get to January the 1st and you're still top of the table and you have a 5 to 7 point gap on Man City, I think FSG will go, okay, Slot, we can't get you 3-4 players, but if there's 1 to 2 players that you think if we bring in for you, you get the title, cool, and then you'll go out and get who you need, and then adding more players to what is already doing amazing, just for me solidifies it. So yeah, I guess I'll, as an Arsenal fan, the only thing that I can really hope and pray for is by the time it gets to game week 35, it's a 2-point gap, and then we beat you at Anfield. That's all I can really pray for.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, what is that saying? They say you can't win the league in November, but you can lose it.
Yeah.
That like it is a big points gap at the moment. 9 points. There's no doubt about that. Look, Liverpool come back from points gaps before. I think Arsenal can as well. But as you're saying, like, this Liverpool team's a little bit different this year. We are more controlled. We are patient more with the ball now. The Villa game was a weird one because I did the watch along for it. And I never once felt like we was in trouble, even at 1-0. I felt like we could score when we wanted. It's like, right, we've had enough playing about you now.
Have you not felt like that most of this season, though, Jay? Because I have. Watching Liverpool, I kind of watch them. I'm so relaxed watching them. I'm like, this team don't look stressed. They don't. You know, with Klopp, like, it was unbelievable to watch. Do not get me wrong when I say this.
Yeah.
It was intense and it was aggressive. But you always felt like it could have that rash moment where they're just so wow that they lose concentration. With Slot, I feel like relaxed. It's balanced. I feel like it's controlled. You defensively look better, in my opinion, than you did on the Klopp. And I just look at you and still scoring goals. And you say that about Villa. I've watched you quite a lot this season. I've not felt in one game, oh my God, Liverpool don't look very good here. They're going to lose.
Only the Forest game. Only the Forest game where we're completely naff. I mean, the first half against Brighton, we were terrible, but we only conceded that one goal second half. The thing with Liverpool, if you're playing Liverpool right now, you've got to kill us off because we got too much firepower. Yeah. We got too much firepower at the moment. You know, you got Salary, for me, is the best player in the league right now. He's got 20 GA already this season, which is absolutely nuts. You got, you know, Diaz is scoring goals. He's on 9 goals already this season. You got Cody can come in and score a few goals. You know, Darwin will score the hard goals. And then, you know, when Jota is fit and available, Jota will, you know, we know Jota will score goals as well. So, you know, there's the forward line is on fire right now. And that's how I feel like it is at the moment. If you're playing Liverpool, you've got to kill us off. If you've got us on the ropes, you have to finish us, you know. Don't let us off, because if you let us off and we can get to half time and say it like that and regroup, we come out a completely different side. And that's what you've seen a lot this season off so far. And it's part down. Slot deserves a lot of credit what he's done. You know, yes, he inherited a very good side. But I've seen we've all seen managers before inherit good sides and still turn it upside down to try and do the things they want to do straight away. You know, he's come in sensibly, decided I've got too many good players here. It might not be the way I actually want to play at the moment, but I've got Salary. I've got to use Salary to the best of his ability, you know. And I think where we are a bit blessed at the moment is that Virgil and Konate have stayed fit. And Konate has stayed fit. Now, this is the longest stretch of games Konate has ever played for Liverpool, which is crazy. But he looks leaner this year. I think Slot and the team made him lose a bit of weight, got a little bit leaner through the summer, you know, because he's a unit and he's quick, so the muscles can go quite easily. And at this moment in time, it's like Konate asks forwards to try and come at him. It's mad. It's like, right, you want to race? Let's do this. Let's go. Like, Martinelli's as quick as anything in the league. Martinelli gave up against Konate. He just like, Konate says, no, it's not happening today, fella. Watkins in the Villa game, just like, it ain't happening. And if you do manage to get past him, and you got Virgil next to him, it's just, and even Trent's a better defender this season. You know, he's not bursting forward. He's barely getting past the halfway line these days. And his defending's got better. You know, and then Liverpool been blessed a little bit in the goalkeeping area. Obviously, we've got Alisson Becker, who's arguably the best on his day. But then you got Kelleher, who's not really a number 2. You know, for me at the moment, Queven Keller's probably the 4th best goalkeeper in the Premier League. And he's
what's mad, bro? I was doing my team of the season. I even considered putting him in because he's been that good. And the only reason I didn't is because he didn't start the whole season. Do you know what I mean? But actually, when you look at the last 5 games, he's been unbelievable. Like for me, him and that Ortega are by far the best number 2s in the league. They could easily play.
They're not number 2s, are they? That's the thing.
Nah, they should be playing first team football, man. But do you know what Slot's done right? I said the biggest compliment I can give him was that I don't look at Liverpool as an identity and think, wow, they look now unrecognisable to what they did under Klopp and it's gone to pot. That's one of the biggest compliments. But actually, I think it's more than that, right? Now, this is where I think he deserves a lot more credit, right? He's looked at that team, which I think is very talented, you're right, and Klopp left behind a good side. But he hasn't had to look at the players that some people might look at that Liverpool side and think, right, Slot's got to get the best out of Salah and get Trent firing and get Alisson in goal and give it. I think he's done the opposite to that. I think he's let them. He knows what their strengths are. He's let them crack on. But I think he's got hold of 5 or 6 others like Curtis Jones, like Diaz, like Gakpo, like Gravenberch, like Cunate, who you've mentioned, and he's gone, right, I'm going to work with them because I've got to get 10, 15% more out of them, and I think the whole team starts flying. And I think that's what he's done. I think Gravenberch has been unreal in that 6.
Yeah,
I think Cunate, like you said, Cunate is a monster anyway, but he's been so much better than he was last season. I always rated him anyway. Diaz, I think, fell off a cliff, if I'm honest, last season. Now, started the season very, very well. I know the last few games people have said he's dropped off a bit again, but I still think he's there or thereabouts. Cody Gakpo is definitely a winger, not a striker, because he's much better on the left, in my opinion. And Curtis Jones has been phenomenal, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Like I really, for me, he plays ahead of Szoboszlai now in that midfield. Like 100%, he does. The work rate of him is so good. So I think Slot needs a hell of a lot of credit for what he's done with those guys because a lot of people. It's fine to say Salah's player of the season. I agree with you, but I'm not shocked by that. Do you know what I mean? I don't look at Salah and go, wow, look at what Slot's done to Salah. Like Salah was doing that anyway, right? So for me, like you look at what Salah has done. I agree with you defensively about Trent. Alisson hasn't been in, but we know he's a world-class goalkeeper. And Van Dijk, I mean, I've just got to be real with you. He's back to his best, mate. He looks unbelievable again, right? So I think, but none of those things really shock me because them 4 players get into world 11s across the world, right? They do. They just get into everyone's team. I just think he deserves so much credit for what he's done with the other players because to turn that many of them around so quickly, it proves he's a good man manager. He proves he knows what he's trying to do. And I think everybody is looking at these run of games. Liverpool are halfway through their hard fixture pile up already, and they're sitting top of the Champions League group and the Premier League. That is phenomenal. Like I know you've got City coming up, you've got Newcastle away, it's tough. You've got a Merseyside derby, I get it, and you've got Real Madrid to play. But really, I look at the way you're playing. I don't think you should fear any of those teams. I really don't think you should walk into any of those teams going, right, this is where it goes wrong, people. Because look how we're playing compared to that. City ain't looking great, mate. Trust me, neither are Real Madrid. Newcastle, they weren't great against Arsenal. Arsenal were just shambolic, yeah? And Everton, I mean, I know it's different playing Everton for Liverpool because it's a Merseyside derby, but let's just be real. They're a mess. Do you know what I mean? So I think you can walk out of this round. I said to the Liverpool fans on the 4th of December, which is the day after the Merseyside derby, if you're sitting top of the league, I think Liverpool win the Premier League. That's what I think.
I think it as well. I literally, if we can beat like the Man City game's huge, obviously, because the Liverpool Man City games in recent years have probably been arguably the biggest game in Europe. And if we beat them at home, I actually think Man City are more worried about playing us at the moment than we are playing them right now. And that don't really happen much because they are going through it. They have got a lot of injuries, to be fair, and something's just not clicking right there at the moment. But I don't want to get too carried away about City because we all seem to say this and then they suit up in February and never lose a game again. But I do feel there's something different. I don't know about you boys, but I do feel like it's something different about City this year. I don't know what it is. Like, even at the beginning of the season, I know they've been winning games as well, but if you look at all their games, even at the beginning of the season, they were winning. It's Haaland getting them out of trouble. Yeah, pretty much. It's Haaland getting them out of trouble. And if you can keep Haaland quiet, their wingers they don't score goals, do they? They're good footballers, but they don't cause you problems like goal-wise. And with their injuries right now, I think Liverpool would have to look at beating City. If we beat City and go 8 points clear of them, the momentum from this team just has to keep going forward. And I think Liverpool's main thing is fitness, to be honest. If Liverpool can keep their main players fit, and I always hear it, if Liverpool lose Salah and Virgil, what's going to happen? And my response always is, if any team loses their world-class players, there's a dip in the team. Don't matter who you are. We've seen it with Rodri right now. You know, you've seen it with Odegaard with Arsenal. You know, anyone who's got a world-class or their super talent in their team and they get injured, no team's the same. You can't tell me Barcelona would be completely the same if Messi got injured for, 6 months. You know, the change, there would be a tiny bit of a dip back in the day because of who he is. You know, if we lost Virgil and Salah at the same time, of course we'll go through shit. You know, it don't matter who you bring in. They could be good players. They're just not the best centre-back, the best right winger in the world. You know, so there's always a dip. So it's about fitness for Liverpool. You keep all these players fit. You keep our centre-back partnership fit. This is the big thing for Liverpool. We rotated our defenders far too much last season. You know, I'm always, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always a believer that your two main centre-backs should play every week. You know, they should start games as much as possible because the spine of your team is what is driven. That's the successful part of your team. So your goalkeeper, your two centre-backs, your DM and your main attacker. You can, if you have them playing for the majority of the season, you can rotate everyone else and keep them healthy. You've got a massive chance of winning things, and hopefully that's what Liverpool do this year. Just keep fitness. But January, Liverpool need to buy. I want Liverpool for once to buy when we're in a power of strength. If we're top of the league on January 1st, I'll literally, if I'm Richard Hughes, I'll go to Real Sociedad. I'll apologise for everything I'm about last time, and just go to Zubimendi. Look, pay the money. We'll bring you in now. Let's stop this messing about and get the job done. Zubimendi's watching Liverpool from afar, thinking, "Wish I left now." You know, and you know, I'll bring the mountains with me. I can bring some mountain. Yeah, I'll bring them with me, and we get and we move. If we can do something like that, then I'll be proper confident. I really will.
The only thing is that both you as a Liverpool fan and me and Dan as an Arsenal fans need to start worrying about is De Bruyne is back, Grealish is back, John Stones is back, Akanji is back. So going forward,
Kanji's a big one. Kanji's a big one.
Going forward, we're going to be seeing, and Pep they just announced that Pep is extending his contract,
which means they're innocent of all charges. By the way, if that's the case,
I believe. Well, not necessarily innocent of all charges, but I don't think that they're going to get any sort of punishment that would make people question like their reputation as a club.
I agree.
So, like, it could be very scary. Like, but if all those players come back and then you beat Man City at Anfield, I think that will do Liverpool a world of confidence.
Yeah.
What's mad is 2 years ago, Liverpool were in a position that Arsenal were in, where Arsenal were flying, and then the news come out of the 115, and City did not lose another game.
Yeah,
it literally was February, and they went win. And now we're seeing Liverpool in this position, and this announcement of Pep being signed. Watch them go on a run now. It's just the way they are, man. It's just the way they are. They're freaks.
I just wonder about De Bruyne. I mean, De Bruyne is 33 now. He's had serious injuries. I think they'll have to protect De Bruyne quite a bit, you know, for the running. Obviously, still a talent. I just feel like City's main problem is their midfield is getting old. Yeah, I think we could it is getting. Even City fans are talking about this. To be fair, I was listening to LB the other day talking about like the midfield is getting old, and it is a problem because you saw the Brighton game. It's not the fact that Brighton brought on better players than Man City. It's just they were more youthful, had more legs about them, could get around the pitch quicker. You know, Bernardo Silva came on, slowed the game down. Kevin De Bruyne came on, slowed the game down. And Brighton brought people that quickened the game up, and they just couldn't counteract. And I just wonder if that'll be an issue for City going forward. That I do feel at this moment in time, I don't know about you boys, but I do feel that more teams this year seem to be having a go at City than they did previous years.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I think Man City fans themselves have said the teams that have come at them are actually the ones that are really nearly beating them. I mean, Fulham, if Adama Traore could have actually have his shooting boots on, they would have won that game. Brentford, likewise.
Yeah,
you know. So there's been a few teams already that have come out of it. Look, to close the show, let's go through this weekend's fixtures and let's just throw some kind of predictions to discuss. I think there's some good games this weekend as it goes. I think it will be quite a good one to come back. There's some great games there. Leicester and Chelsea, Enzo Maresca coming back to the King Power Stadium. However, I do see Chelsea winning this one. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Chelsea. What are you saying, Hooks?
I'm gonna go. I'll go 2-1 Chelsea.
Okay, Jay.
I'm going to 2-1 Leicester.
Ooh.
Love that. Yeah, man. Come on. I think we've done Arsenal Forest, so let's move to Villa and Palace. I think Villa will beat them quite comfortably, and I think they need to. They're on a bit of a strange run at the moment, Aston Villa under Emery, and they need some confidence. I'm going to go 2-0 Villa. Hooks?
I feel like Villa are in a bit of a bad place, and I do agree that they do need to pull their finger out. But I just have I don't know. I'm feeling a 2-2. I think a 2-2 Palace. Yeah, Palace Villa. I go for the draw 2-2.
Okay, Jamie.
Villa, look, I said it in the summer. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't think Villa's summer window is as good as people thought it was. They still concede a lot of goals, and that was their problem last year. I think they conceded 61 goals and finished fourth. Shows you how bad the league was in some ways. And they're still conceding goals a lot now. But Palace are dog turd. So I'm going Villa 2-1. I think they still concede, but I think they win the game. I think they end their losing streak.
Okay. For me, this is going to be the game of the weekend. Bournemouth-Brighton. This one is going to be an absolute cracker. And I am going to go 3-2 Brighton. Hooks.
I'll go 3-1 Bournemouth.
Wow. Okay, Jamie?
I'm going 0-0.
Yeah.
I think they're going to cancel each other out. This is like the same force meeting each other, and they just do that. No one can budge.
Yeah. I hear that. I do hear that.
Yeah, I'll be a bit exciting game though, even at 0-0. I think it'd be a good game.
Yeah, it's going to be a cracker, I think. Unlike this next game, Everton-Brentford is not going to be a very fun game. However, Brentford have really been on fire this season, which is why I'm going to go for them to win. I'm going to go 2-1 Brentford. What are you telling me, Hooks?
I'm going to go for the 2-0 Brentford win. Everton
Everton are just awful, man.
I'm going 4-0 Brentford.
Oh, whitewash.
Oh, I got to put the digs in when I can. Brentford, I think, are second top goal scorers in the league. Yeah, so Wissa and Wermo right now are on fire. Yeah, I'm going Brentford 4-0, man. Smash them toffees.
Fulham and Wolves. Wolves need to keep getting as many points as possible, but Fulham at Craven Cottage is one of the hardest places to go. I've got to say that. I think it's a very, very tough place to go, which is why I think Fulham will have enough. I am going to go with a 3-1 Fulham win. Hooks?
I'm going to go 4-2 Fulham.
Okay. Jamie?
Wolves are the weirdest team in the Premier League. Because their players should not be where they are in the league.
Yeah.
I'm going Wolves 2-1. I think they caused an upset.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. I didn't expect you to say that. Because that would be an upset, to be honest. But they need the win so bad. Then we come to the big one at 5:30, Manchester City versus Spurs. If I'm honest with you, this is a game that I'm not actually going to care too much about because I can't really lose in this scenario. If Tottenham win, it's quite funny because City have dropped points again. And if City win, then it's quite funny because Tottenham are just a dead-ass team as ever. So I can't really say that it's going to be a bad result, this one. I do think City will win. I do think City will actually win quite comfortably. Manchester City, I think Spurs have got both their centre-halves out, actually. I think they're both injured. So I'm going to go 2-0 to City at the Etihad. What are you saying, Hooks?
I can't lie. to quote a good old friend of mine, I'm going for a domination in the location. Man City winning 4-0.
4-0. Wow. Jamie?
I think Tottenham win 3-2.
Tottenham win 3-2. Wow.
Spurs are the weirdest team in the world in world football. They can batter a good. They can batter a, they can batter teams and lose to a team they shouldn't. I think Tottenham on the counter attack will cause Man City a lot of issues. I really do. I think they cause City problems. I think they can get goals, but also see City getting goals as well. But it's just ain't telling me about Tottenham winning this game.
Wow, that would be incredible. If they lose to Ipswich and beat City, that would be so Spursy, man. So Spursy.
That's what I'm saying. Only they could do this. You know what I'm saying?
It would be incredible. Let's go Southampton, Liverpool. I'll go 3-0 Liverpool. I think this would be comfortable. Hooks, what are you saying?
It's just Ramsdale in goal, right? They're just going to concede.
He's injured, man. He's injured, so he's out.
Oh, he's injured. Okay. Oh, maybe there's some hope then. No, I'm playing. I think Liverpool are going to walk this. I don't even think Southampton will score. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I'll probably go 3-0 as well.
Okay. Jamie?
I'm actually worried about this guy.
What?
Here we go.
I'm just worried how bad we're going to beat Southampton. No, no. It's after, if we didn't have international duty, I'd be super confident just winning. We've been good away from home. I think we'll just get a 2-0. I think he'll rest. Last international break, he rested all the South American players because they play so much later than the European players. I think he might do the same again. So it might be a bit of rotation there, but even with our rotation, we still have enough to beat Southampton. And so I'll go 2-0. Nice, professional, comfortable 2-0.
Interesting. Portman Road, Ipswich versus Ruben Amorim's Manchester United. I would absolutely love Town to do something here. I would love the Tractor Boys to plough their field just like they did Spurses. But I don't think I see it. I think that as much as I do love Ipswich and I want them to stay up, and I hope that they can. I still got a sneaky hope that they can, but you never know. I think Manchester United win this one 2-1. Jamie, what are you saying?
See, obviously, I want the Ipswich to win.
Yeah.
Do you know what's mad? Ruud van Nistelrooy pretty much kept it simple at Man United. Didn't do anything too much. Just gave them a bit of confidence. They started beating teams. I'm just wondering if Almeron's going to come in and completely change all that and go straight to 3 at the back and change it all a little bit and take them out of their rhythm.
Yeah.
And Ipswich capitalise on it. So I'm going 1-1.
Love that. What are you saying, Hooks?
Do you know what? I think it all really depends on can Amorim get the forward line firing, which I think he will be able to. So unfortunately, I'm going for a 2-1 Manchester United victory.
Yeah, man, I'm a bit the same, bro. I think Man United, as much as I want Ipswich, I think it'll be Man United. But we'll go from there, man. Listen, it'll be a good weekend. It's good to get football back, that's for sure. It's something that we all want to be seeing. And if I'm honest with you, I do kind of. I don't want to say I missed the international breaks, but this was the one that I did really enjoy, and then needed a break from it. Now we don't have one till March, so it's proper now. We literally got football every few days, every 3 or 4 days. It's absolutely crazy. So listen, big up to both of you for coming on. Thank you so much for all of your comments and, of course, your work in the polls as well. At the moment, 42% of you believe Liverpool are going to win the league. 35% of you believe Man City, and only 18% of you believe it's going to be Arsenal that wins.
What a great community you got, Dan. What a great community you got.
Well, they all like Liverpool at the moment, bro. They all like Liverpool at the moment, that's for sure. Make sure you do me a favour, people. Make sure you go over to Halftime Hooks and subscribe. What you got coming up, Hooks, and what can people view? You've got some other stuff that you've been doing as well, bro.
Yeah, so I recently started this new show that I do called About the Fan, where I
It's
basically
been great.
interview fans. Yeah, and I mean, Jamie, a lot of Liverpool fans have been asking for you to appear on it, so we might need
I
to
understand. You need the sex appeal in your show. I get it.
I mean, outside of that, I'm gonna be doing a combined 11. A bit about the Nottingham Forest game with Wolfie from Forest Fan TV at 6 p.m. So if you want to come along and join in the fun, feel free. Other than that, on the road to 5K by Christmas Day, so we can have a party.
There you go.
There we go, man. Let's get it sorted.
People.
Let's make sure you hit subscribe. Let's get hooks up to 5K. Jamie, likewise, how can people follow you? What you got coming up?
Yeah, so Jamie Phillips Football Chats is where I'm at. Tonight I'm on a different platform. I'm on my Big Up platform. If no one knows what Big Up is, go to bigup.com. It's another place where they do football content. We do watch-alongs and stuff like that over there. So yeah, I've got a Liverpool tactics show on there tonight with me and the Coppish boys actually. So it's gonna be a good one. And then tomorrow be back on my channel for match previews, watch-alongs on the weekend, all of that glorious stuff. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Go do it, people. All your Liverpool fans, you got to follow Jamie. Jamie's everywhere, man. So big up to you for coming on. Big up to Hooks for coming on. And listen, man, enjoy the weekend. I will, of course, be back tomorrow with more content. I'm going out tonight with a few mates to enjoy a comedy event, so that'll be a laugh. So I'm hoping that will be all good. And yeah, we'll see you next time, people. Take it easy. We're out of here. Laters.